Doesn't play with guitars, he plays with catars. Totally fun, let that one roll when you're playing Asuri.
Whenever you're playing, or if you're Kitty, which also plays Asuri.
Or if you're Kitty.
Yeah,
but I don't think we'll be seeing him here at Gravy Cancel Sunday. Dobrein opening up with that dive kick. Shadow punishing with his unarmed combos, looking to follow up with a recovery too, and maybe even send him to orange, but that's not the case.
Dobrein holding onto the spear right now. Shadow, however, hitting with an arm.
Over dive kicks on top of dive kicks.
And he's racking up damage on Dobrein. Dobrein's already in the orange on this Ada. Shadow holding on to...
Dobrein did pick up that lovely Scepter of Salt. Shadow rocking the guitars. Could go anywhere. The pressure could change.
Yeah, but at the moment, both players are having difficulty landing any attacks. Every landing that Shadow has isn't converting into a kill, but Dobrein's not punishing it either. But here we go, getting some damage in with those down airs. Dobrein's at kill percent. Finding the down air. Shadow goes in with a
posted with that neutral light. Very powerful tool against the sword.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to go in recklessly with a side light. Tosses Dobrein off the side of the map, however, with his weapon, goes for a ground pound punch, but doesn't connect, and a side signature to send Shadow flying and into the deep orange.
And a D-Sig follow-up. Is he going to chain this into a kill?
We'll see.
Shadow is denied of weapons. He has to get close to Dobrein.
And Dobrein is doing a great job of standing on those weapons, not denying them himself, but baiting Shadow to go in and try to grab them.
Gets punished with the dive kick. Shadow manages to find a weapon. Ooh. This is one combo away from either player losing their first stock.
A side air is all it's going to take for either player to lose. They're just both afraid of going in. But there's the side sig.
But no side air. Side sig coming out of Shadow. Sending Dobrein off the map. Even though he's sitting at red, feeling pretty confident, getting that damage out with those guitars.
And this is where I feel like
punishing
Shadow...
the recovery from Dobrein, just juggling him, looking to follow it up even more with the gravy neutral, but it doesn't happen, doesn't connect. Dobrein going for that end sig, and Shadow just looking for more ops.
This is where I feel like Shadow is at his most comfortable state, right? It's when he's got a stock lead, he's in the red, he doesn't have to care about his stock, he has to get as much damage in before he loses it. And he's doing just that, finding Dobrein into the orange and taking advantage with his sword play.
Definitely agree.
Dobrein struggling to get some sort of signature combo onto Shadow here, but Shadow finds a D-Light side air that sends Dobrein off the side of the map and a side air to finish it, taking the lead 3-1.
Could we see another 3-stock?
No.
Hell no.
No.
Bomb drop on his head.
Shadow dodges directly underneath Dobrein. Dobrein says, I understand that you were going to do this, and kills him with a bomb lob. Holding onto the guns right now.
Looking to get some damage out, finds those nairs, try to combo it up with a recovery, but he ends up finding a side air instead. He's racking up the damage on Shadow. If he can get away from those dive kicks and those unarmed combos that Shadow loves so much, then he might still have a chance.
Yeah, but Shadow's
find his way in, and he's getting damage out with those guitars. He's getting the juggle down. Like,
the second he picked up the guitars, he just caught Dobrein into a crazy
immediately goes into, I'm gonna dive at you with my dare, and I'm gonna try and keep you in the air as long as possible.
And what do you know? We have Dobrein in the air, being disarmed by Shadow's unarmed recovery, having himself the guns, but he can't space the side airs.
Doesn't connect. PXshadow isn't worried about winning the match, he's just looking to close it with an unarmed recovery.
Yeah, Dobrein finally using some good down air options to be able to cover Shadow's down airs himself, but it's not enough. He's already so behind with the stock, and a kick punts Ada off the side of the stage with a spike ball finish.
Gets some extra coverage with that Crocky and finishes it off with a neutral air with those guitars.
Player 1 wins.
Oh boy, a 2-stock coming from Shadow. Dobrein having absolutely no idea how to take the pace of the match into his favor with his Ada. Dobrein opting to switch to Hattori, and we're seeing a Hattori switch from Shadow as well.
The Hattori Ditto. Ooh, it's been a while.
Shadow double checking on the rules. Indeed, if you are the winner of a match, you have the option of switching your character before stage bans, and you cannot change your character in response to your opponent's character change. Shadow still having difficulty, probably has never read the rules, thinking that the loser has to ban. No, indeed, the winner is the person that bans, and he bans out Thunder Guard and Blackguard. Dobrein has his stage selection choice from 5 remaining stages.
And if anybody is unsure about the rules, you can see our commands, !rules, get the rules, !bracket, get the bracket.
Indeed.
Just in case you're unsure.
Dobrein picks the Great Hall, and we're about to see a Hattori ditto between Tears, PXshadow, and Boo's Dobrein.
Oh man, it's awfully yellow in here.
Awfully yellow. Are they both going to go for that top platform? I wouldn't doubt it. No, indeed, they go for a fight in the middle.
Just going for that unarmed pressure, picks up the mine. Dobrein has the Scepter of Salt in hand.
Yeah, but Shadow with his own spear. Both players trying to box each other out with side airs, but Dobrein's winning out on the trades. Or Shadow. Both players boxing each other out. Dobrein finds a neutral light. Shadow goes in for a D-light, but it doesn't connect, but gets the pogo stick. And now he's starting to box Dobrein out with his own neutral lights and side airs. Both players just a spacing.
Neutral light. Both players still orange, with little to no signatures.
Absolutely not. Even weapon tosses are coming out. Shadow just deciding to try to mix it up with some weapon tosses of his own. Finds himself on the side of the stage and has the sword. I feel like having the sword is going to put him at a disadvantage with how well Dobrein is boxing him out with these spear neutrals. Goes for
the end sig, doesn't catch, but he manages to ride off the air and hit him with a side air, and then the side sig for the first stock.
I believe that's a gravy cancel side sig as well, using that just before landing on the platform to cover Shadow's landing and taking him off the side of the map. Shadow goes for an unsafe ground pound and gets punished by a neutral light. Dobrein has complete control with the spear.
And then he punishes it even more with a neutral light, and he follows it up with another neutral light.
Shadow holding
and
on
another
his spear.
neutral light.
Yeah, every time.
Neutral light city, PXshadow trying to get that side sig off the map, but
Shadow just can't approach.
Dobrein just waiting.
Shadow can't approach from the front.
Another opportunity to hit him off with the neutral.
Yeah. That neutral light's just covering every single option that he goes for the sword. He's going for a lot of side lights, right, with that sword to try to get in, but Dobrein's just interrupting it with his neutrals.
PX getting back on the map with that spear recovery. Dobrein deciding to just play center stage, wait, and rack up more damage on onto Shadow and keep his stock rolling.
Both players boxing each other out with their side airs and the spear, but Dobrein still on his first stock, but a ground pound.
Gets pushed off with the GP from Shadow.
What an excellent ground pound to cover Dobrein's recovery attempt to finish off his stock. It wasn't spaced well. PXshadow had an idea of where he was better than Dobrein did, and was able to clip him with the edge of the ground pound to end the stock. 2-2.
Spot dodging the neutral sig from Dobrein, but Dobrein quick to follow up with some neutral lights and then a side air to take the stock off of PXshadow.
Taking a solid one stock lead. Shadow has the patience, however, to wait on that weapon, waits for Dobrein to throw out the neutral light and punishes him with an unarmed combo. Will he be able to get in with the sword? He's gonna need to not use side lights if he doesn't want to get punished by Dobrein's excellent neutral light spacing.
Dobrein just going on from side to side, jump over him, neutral light, jump over him, neutral light. I love it.
Shadow trying to find some way
play like that.
to get in with the sword, but I honestly think he should throw this aside. Goes for a down air, but gets punished by the neutral light once again. Goes for a neutral signature, and Shadow finds a punish, being able to rack up some damage. Goes to the ground pound.
But he ends up getting met with that neutral air.
Neutral air is just covering every single option that Shadow can think of from above. Shadow does not want to be above Dobrein, but he doesn't want to be near him either, because he's covering both of the options that he's always taking.
Dobrein looking to just get a little bit more damage on, or find that spacing for a good signature to close the game out.
Ooh, just traveling across the air with side airs right now, but he's just throwing them out.
And there's that damage, there's the GP. Is he going to follow it up? Goes for the GP, doesn't find it.
Goes for the disco, doesn't connect. I believe that with that weapon... Wow, okay.
Hits him with the ball.
And Shadow punishes with a D-Light Cider to send him off the side of the stage. Both players in the red. Will Shadow be able to end the stock and possibly have a chance of making a comeback 1-1?
Goes for that slide charge disco. A for effort.
Oh, but
charges up the Crocky and he hits it.
Shadow not respecting
Finds
that
the
Crocky
side air,
at all.
takes the game off PXshadow.
2 stocks. And game 1 goes to... Or game 2 goes to Dobrein. We're moving on to game 3 in this best of 3. Pots and pans included. Shadow saying, alright, screw that. Hattori's not my main. I want to go back to the cat. Dobrein bans out kings and ship. Where will Shadow take Dobrein next?
Take it to Mammoth.
Mammoth Fortress is Game 3, best of 3, first match of winners quarters. Here we go. Shadow's Asuri versus Dobrein Hattori.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
Shadow finds the first weapon spawn, and it's a sword. Dobrein, however, responds to the sword of his own, but Shadow's finding those neutral lights. They both go for a neutral light.
Both players going for the neutral light. Dobrein manages to find the downlight in the side air. PXshadow punishing with those dares.
Yeah.
Dobrein doing the same thing in turn, picking up the spear, looking for that Sair.
Both players, oddly enough, are opting for weapon tosses, which we didn't see previously on the Great Hall. Shadow goes to the side of the map, however. Oh dear, is he going to stay on that side of the map, knowing that he's got the guitars and he feels comfortable there?
Dobrein keeping with that center stage poke playstyle.
But
PXshadow dives in.
Yeah, it seems as though Shadow's considering slowing down his playstyle considerably, but does he have the patience to do that? He's trying to get against Dobrein's approach, but Dobrein's approach is just waiting for Shadow to approach.
Dobrein goes for the side air, but gets punished by Shadow's own.
Goes on the spear, tosses the side, but doesn't
another
work.
Sair. Is he gonna look for the recovery? Instead, he tries to bait out the N-Sig, but just gets punched over and over again by Shadow.
That neutral sig from Dobrein
and he
opened
finds
up.
the recovery. Dobrein is in the air. He's low health.
And unarmed.
Shadow's gonna try and find a way to make this work. But Dobrein flips it on him, hits him with the downlight side air. He's got the sword. Shadow off stage, gets back on, and he gets hit with the down air.
Ooh, gosh.
And then aside to take the stock.
Another side air. Shadow was doing such a great job being able to recover, but Dobrein was just covering all of his options and then some. A D-light into D-light into side air to carry Shadow off the side of the map and already send him to the yellow, but he punts him off the side of the stage. Will Shadow be able to confirm the stock? No, Dobrein...
Tries to cover with the mine, the GP, and the recovery. None of it works, but that simple side air, unarmed, takes the stock off of Dobrein.
Shadow forcing every single possible jump out of Dobrein's Hattori, making sure that he can cover his landing with a side air to end the stock. 2-2, this match is much more even than
Shadow making good use of that air neutral with those guitars.
Shadow holding the
Dobrein
guitars.
poking his way into PXshadow stock with that neutral light.
Oh, excellent landing from Dobrein, knowing that Shadow's going to want to try to go in from below. Lands, uses the neutral light to be able to cover whatever option he
Shadow
takes.
going in with his down air, then he dodges backwards and uses that end light.
Yep. Every time. Interrupts whatever
and it's
option he's
tried
going
and true. It works.
Dobrein holding on the spear. Shadow trying to get in with the guitars, but
Finds
he's
that
not.
side air, sends him off.
Shadow's
the recovery, but no dice.
Shadow is finding damage here and there, but he's taking more than he's dealing to Dobrein, and that is not okay considering how many potential kill moves the spear has. But a spike ball launches Dobrein off the side of the map.
And not just any spear, a Hattori spear.
Hattori spear indeed. Goes for a down signature, and PXshadow tries to punish the side
First
light.
D-Sig of the set, I believe.
Yeah, and it was easily punished. Both players find themselves in the red.
D-Sig from Shadow of his own. Ends up chaining up with the recovery. He has the sword. Is he going to find the nair to take the stock? Dobrein ends up going off stage and finding his way to the other side, hitting Shadow with the recovery.
Yeah,
and trying to find a Sair.
Dobrein used a ledge cancel with the downer there to make sure they got all of his jumps back while being able to travel underneath the stage. And
Dobrein finds the ground pound, takes the stock off of Shadow.
an excellent spear toss to make sure Shadow couldn't recover to the side of the map, had to hug the wall and get punished by his ground pound. He takes the second stock, but he's in the red. Can Shadow close this out very quickly to make the match even once again?
Now rocking that off stage, finds a way in, rolls, and send Dobrein flying.
Dobrein tries to cover a landing with a neutral light. Instead gets him with, well, the neutral light. And Shadow
If
goes
he
for
can
a
make
ground
his
pound.
way back center stage and continue to bait out those dares from Shadow and work that light, then I think he's on easy street. But he gets hit by the recovery, he loses his stock, the match is reset.
Yeah, Shadow finds himself in the yellow, but then immediately gets hit by an unarmed, sending him deeper. Dobrein finds the sword. I don't feel like he wants this for very long.
But he does find that downlight side air, and he's looking for some more. He's looking for some more on Shadow, but Shadow's got that air game. He's got those neutral lights. Throws the sword. He does get that spear. Is this what he wants, Tazza? Does he want that spear?
I feel like he does, but right now Shadow's finding a way to be able to get in and get some damage in. I want to see more neutral lights and neutral airs. There's the neutral light. Is he going to use the neutral air to be able to cover Shadow's down air approach? Oh, instead goes for a down air.
Ends up going for the downlight and follows up with the Sair, looking for the recovery to stack on even more pressure. Shadow without a weapon, forced into a very dangerous phase with the Brain Spear.
Especially within the red.
Ends
Another
up
downlight
coming out
Sair.
pretty clean, not taking any damage. Finds some Katars and starts rolling towards him. Not the best decision to make.
No, these sidelights, both with the sword and the guitar.
But he does find a way in. He racks up some damage. If he can get back on the center stage, he can't get back on the center stage.
He doesn't even touch the stage.